Pillars of Sand portrays Ryan Salazar's life grounded in dedication, loyalty, and justice. Over 15 years, he shaped Vert, X Technology's security architecture division, into its most successful sector. Despite earning industry-wide respect for his precision and high standards, Ryan faced a lack of recognition within the company's leadership. His true investment lay in his home, a carefully planned craftsman house in Denver's Cherry Creek, shared with his wife of 9 years, Natalie. Their love story began when Ryan was involved in securing her father's business, Nathaniel Wright, who approved of their relationship. "You're not like the usual trust fund men she brings around," Nathaniel had remarked at their engagement party. Ryan, reminded of the importance of building with his own hands, proudly inspected the handcrafted mahogany bookcase he had just completed for Natalie's upcoming birthday. Lately, she had been distant, attributing it to her demanding job at the real estate firm she had joined 3 months ago. Hoping the bookcase would add some warmth to their cooling home, Ryan took a moment to appreciate his work. Suddenly, his phone buzzed with a message from his best friend, Dominic Rousseau. It read, "Exciting news coming Monday. The announcement of the VP position at your promotion party. The director has already informed Burke that it's yours. Congratulations, man." Ryan couldn't help but smile at the thought of finally being recognized after 15 years of building Vertex's security division from the ground up. The VP title symbolized more than just a promotion. It meant recognition, authority to execute his ideas, and a generous bonus that would enable him to launch the private security firm he had been planning for years. Later that evening, after Natalie returned home to a cold dinner, Ryan greeted her warmly and asked about her day. As she began to share with him, Ryan's mind raced with visions of the exciting future that awaited him. Referring to Preston Walsh, the owner of Diamond City Realty, where she had recently started as a junior agent, she emphasized the importance of client satisfaction. Ryan, nodding attentively, observed her closely. Despite the busy day, her perfectly styled blonde hair caught his eye, and a hint of unfamiliar cologne lingered on her silk blouse. Mentioning the upcoming promotion party on Friday, Ryan pushed a warm dinner towards her. He proudly mentioned Lovin's achievements at Vertex, to which Natalie responded with polite encouragement, though her smile did not quite reach her eyes. Ryan, turning to attend to the dishes, missed the quick glance she cast at her phone with a text that read, "Did you tell him yet?" Meanwhile, across town in a sleek penthouse was a view of downtown Denver, Lovin Burke, the CEO of Vertex Technologies, poured another whiskey while gazing at a photograph of himself and Ryan from the company's inception 15 years earlier. As he set down his glass and tucked the photograph away in his desk drawer. "All or nothing personal," he muttered, "just business." Chapter 2. Shadows and Whispers. 3 weeks before the promotion party, Ryan first noticed the pattern. Natalie's showings increasingly coincided with Lovin's client meetings. Twice, he spotted Lovin's distinctive Tesla parked 3 blocks from their favorite restaurant when Natalie claimed to be dining with clients. Ryan wasn't a jealous man, but he was observant by nature and profession. The security expertise had taught him to recognize behavioral anomalies. The signs were accumulating. Natalie's new expensive jewelry, which she claimed were sales incentives, her sudden password changes on all devices, and the increasingly frequent late nights. What truly triggered his suspicions was Dominic's casual comment at their weekly poker night. "Saw your wife having lunch with Logan yesterday at the Crimson," Dominic mentioned, arranging his cards. "Looked pretty intense. Company business." Ryan kept his expression neutral. "Must be about the party planning. That Nike?" Ryan noticed a change in Natalie's breathing as she lay beside him in bed, almost as if it was intentional. When her phone rang softly at 2:00 a.m., she got up quietly and took it to the bathroom. Ryan could hear her murmuring behind the closed door. The next day, he took action by installing advanced tracking software on their whole network, similar to what he used for his high-profile corporate clients. Before long, he found the evidence he had feared: intimate messages exchanged between Natalie and Logan that dated back 4 months, predating her employment at Diamond City Realty. To his shock, he discovered that Preston Walsh, Natalie's supposed boss, was actually Logan's college roommate. The real estate job was a facade created to justify Natalie's sudden income increases and absences. The depth of the betrayal was staggering, meticulously planned, and ongoing. "Let's announce your promotion instead of his." He'll resign with his pride intact, choosing to step away rather than work under his wife. No need for a messy termination, no severance package, no worries about competition. With his shares transitioning to you in the divorce, we will gain majority control alongside Natalie and Logan. The board won't be able to prevent us from moving forward. As Ryan reviewed their plans, he felt an unusual sense of calm. Having dedicated 15 years to developing Vertex's security division, he now faced this act of betrayal. Not only had his wife been unfaithful, but she had also become a weapon against him. That evening, Natalie found Ryan in the kitchen, unaware of his discoveries. Friday's celebration will be spectacular, she mentioned, giving him a kiss on the cheek. Logan has really gone all out. I'm sure he has, Ryan responded calmly. It's not every day that someone receives exactly what they deserve. Natalie noticed a shift in his tone, but dismissed it as Ryan smiled warmly. Later that night in his home office, Ryan opened a secure folder named Contingency on an isolated computer system. Years in the security field had ingrained in him a mindset of preparing for the worst-case scenarios. He meticulously reviewed the information he had accumulated over 15 years, which served as his professional safety net. With a quiet determination, he muttered to himself, "So this is how it's going to be," before beginning to work on his next move. Monday was sure to be an intriguing day. Chapter 3, The Party. Friday evening descended with theatrical flair as a thunderstorm swept through Denver while guests assembled at Vertex Technologies' impressive headquarters. The top-floor atrium, rented out by the company, offered panoramic views of the stormlit mountain landscape through its floor-to-ceiling windows. Ryan made his entrance solo, as Natalie had informed him she would join later after wrapping up some paperwork. Navigating through the crowd with practiced social grace, he graciously accepted well wishes from colleagues who were already buzzing with rumors of his recent promotion. Each pat on the back and congratulatory gesture felt like a reminder of the hidden agenda at play. These individuals had no inkling of what was truly in store. At precisely 8 o'clock, Logan Burke confidently took the stage in the front of the room, holding a champagne flute. Dressed in a custom Italian suit, his poised demeanor reflected the successful image he had carefully crafted. Despite this facade, Ryan was aware of the company's struggles since resources were redirected from his security division to more precarious ventures by Logan. "May I have everyone's attention?" Logan's voice echoed through the now silent room. "Tonight we gather to honor excellence and acknowledge the future leadership of Vertex Technologies." Sensing a presence beside him, Ryan turned to see Natalie, stunning in a new red dress. With a smile, she affectionately squeezed his arm, playing the part for curious onlookers. "The vice president position for our security division embodies the essence of what built this company," Logan continued. "This role requires innovation, dedication, and the ability to adapt to evolving circumstances." As Logan's gaze swept across the audience, it paused on Natalie, almost imperceptibly. There was a tense silence as the news spread until Logan announced the appointment of Natalie Salazar as the new vice president of security architecture. Confusion and surprise rippled through the room as colleagues turned to Ryan for guidance, and Dominic let out a shocked expletive. Despite only joining the team 3 months prior, Natalie had already proven herself with exceptional abilities, Logan explained. She offered a fresh perspective and specialized knowledge that would propel the company forward. As all eyes fell on Ryan, Natalie gave his arm a reassuring squeeze before making her way to the stage. The unspoken question hung in the air. How would Ryan respond? Maintaining his composure, Ryan raised his glass to his wife and grinned, diffusing some of the tension in the room. Addressing the crowd, Natalie thanked Logan and acknowledged her husband's unwavering support. With a sense of relief, the evening continued smoothly without any drama. "Certainly," he said, looking directly at Ryan. The double meaning wasn't lost on Ryan. He maintained his smile, raising his glass higher before taking a sip. "Logan, step forward again," Ryan said. "We have another announcement regarding your future with Vertex. Perhaps we could discuss it in my office." "No need," Ryan replied, his voice carrying clearly, "I think I understand my position perfectly. Let's celebrate Natalie's achievement tonight. Monday will be soon enough for other matters." As the awkward party continued, Ryan accepted condolences disguised as congratulations from colleagues. He played the role of a supportive husband flawlessly, even joining Natalie and Logan for photos. Only Dominic recognized the cold calculation behind his friend's eyes. "What are you planning?" Dominic whispered when they had a moment alone. Ryan's smile never wavered. "Monday is the beginning of the fiscal quarter. Seems like an appropriate time for new beginnings, don't you think?" As the party wound down, Ryan approached Logan. "Congratulations again," he said pleasantly to Natalie, who were huddled in conversation. "I look forward to Monday's transition." He extended his hand to Logan. After a moment's hesitation, Logan shook it. "Ryan, I hope you understand she already does a lot more than you," Ryan interrupted. quoting Logan's earlier words verbatim. She deserves it. I understand completely. Then he turned and walked out into the storm, leaving confusion and unease in his wake. Behind him, Logan turned to Natalie. That was too easy. What is he planning? Natalie watched her husband's retreating figure. Nothing. He's always been passive when confronted. That's why this worked. But her voice lacked conviction. In 9 years of marriage, she had never seen the expression that had flickered across Ryan's face when he mentioned Monday. Chapter 4. The architect. Saturday morning arrived with cruel sunshine that seemed to mock Ryan's situation. He woke alone in bed. Natalie hadn't come home. No explanation, not even a text. The final insult. Following last night's public embarrassment, Ryan experienced a peculiar sense of clarity rather than rage. He brewed a cup of coffee and carried it to his heavily secured home office, equipped with measures that would impress even government agencies. Surrounded by specialized equipment and multiple monitors, Ryan sprang into action by initiating his emergency procedures. His first priority was safeguarding his assets, a skill honed from years of observing corporate betrayals and preparing for worst-case scenarios. Within a short span of time, he transferred significant funds to untraceable accounts and enacted legal safeguards to prevent Natalie or Logan from accessing his actual wealth in any forthcoming divorce proceedings. At exactly 10 o'clock a.m., his secure phone rang. "Are you safe?" queried Dominic without beating around the bush. "I'm doing better than they suspect." Ryan responded calmly. "There's more. Logan has been scheming for months. The division you crafted is up for sale. The requisite documents are already in place. Your team will be disbanded within the next 30 days. And as for Natalie," Dominic paused. "She's being handed over to you. The client list and connections are being used to portray her as the mastermind behind the security systems, aimed at upholding client trust." Ryan's reaction was chilling as he questioned if it would be so simple for them to assume he hadn't implemented safeguards after working on the project for 15 years. He mentioned a project called Operation Glasshouse, which Dominic recognized as the ultimate security stress test. Ryan clarified that it wouldn't be used against Vertex, but against those who had betrayed him, with the company being seen as collateral damage, much like he had been. In response to Dominic's concern about potential pushback, Ryan expressed his reliance on their resistance to justify his next actions, emphasizing the need for them to fight back. Following their conversation, Ryan began accessing dormant systems he had discreetly integrated into Vertex's infrastructure, including hidden backdoors and monitoring systems serving as his insurance policy. Over the next 6 hours, he collected valuable intelligence, company secrets, personal communications, financial data, and more. I was recording more than just Logan's actions. I had captured the involvement of everyone, including the board members who had approved his removal and the executives who were aware of the betrayal. What I uncovered surpassed my worst fears. The plot to push me out was just a piece of a larger puzzle. Logan had been dismantling the company systematically, getting ready to sell its vital technologies to foreign investors using front companies. Natalie's affair was not just an indiscretion. She was being set up as the perfect scapegoat. Her sudden promotion was meant to shift blame to her once investigations started after the sale. Their betrayal wasn't limited to betraying me. They had orchestrated my complete ruin, intending to leave me isolated, ruling professionally, and potentially under federal scrutiny. As night fell, I crafted my strategy for retaliation, relying on precision, patience, and a merciless approach, qualities I had honed through years of creating impenetrable security measures. The shrill ring of the house phone broke my concentration, interrupting my planning. Lai's strained voice filled the room as she began. "Ryan, we really need to discuss the promotion. Congratulations once again." She paused, then added, "Please, let's not be at odds about this. It's not how I envisioned this conversation going, but here we are." Ryan's tone remained amicable as he inquired, "When will you be home?" The weighty silence that followed conveyed more than words ever could. "I'll be staying at a hotel tonight. I believe some space is necessary for all of us, including Logan," Lai explained. "We have to handle this situation like adults." Ryan concurred. "Actually, I've spent the day contemplating mature resolutions to our dilemma." "What do you mean?" Lai questioned. "It means I'll see you on Monday, Vice President Salazar. Enjoy your weekend," Ryan responded before ending the call. Afterward, he focused on finalizing his plans. By Sunday night, all was set. Ryan drifted into a peaceful sleep, arising before dawn on Monday with unwavering determination. Dressed impeccably, he savored a hearty breakfast before heading to Vertex Technologies for the final time. The security guard greeted him with a quiet sense of sympathy, the news of Friday's events having permeated the company. Ryan simply smiled as he confidently took his next steps. Rise. He handed him a coffee, just as he did every Monday. Going to be an interesting day, Frank, he said pleasantly. Sure is, Mr. Salazar, the guard replied. For what it's worth, most folks here think you got a raw deal. Ryan nodded. Sometimes the wrong person wins the battle doesn't mean they'll win the war. As he rode the elevator to the executive floor, Ryan checked his watch. In exactly 15 minutes, everything would begin. He felt a strange sense of peace as the doors opened. It was time for Monday's reckoning. Chapter 5. Dominoes Falling. By 9:15 a.m., Ryan sat calmly in his soon-to-be former office, watching events unfold on his monitors throughout the building. Carefully timed digital dominoes were falling exactly as he'd planned. The first sign that Monday wouldn't proceed as Logan and Natalie expected came at precisely 9 o'clock a.m. when every executive's email simultaneously received an anonymous message containing a detailed dossier on Logan's foreign dealings, deals that violated both company policy and federal law. Regulations were breached. The origin of the incriminating evidence was unidentifiable. By 9:05, the board members had received proof of Logan's ongoing embezzlement, complete with transaction records and offshore account information. Once again, untraceable. 5 minutes later, both the HR and legal departments were provided with thorough documentation outlining Logan's history of workplace manipulation, including his collusion with Natalie. Ryan's phone lit up with a message from Belinik. A board emergency meeting was urgently convened. Logan's expression turned ashen as he entered the room. Timing couldn't have been more perfect. Ryan rose from his seat and adjusted his tie just in time for Logan to storm in, his face twisted in anger. What have you done? Logan demanded. Ryan maintained a calm smile. I'm simply following the directive to clear out my office. The emails, the documents, they must have come from you. Logan advanced, his voice low and threatening. This is your doing, I'm certain of it. Ryan countered softly, prove it. Maybe you should go speak to the board members and federal investigators who have just arrived in the lobby. Logan's phone started ringing incessantly, drawing his attention away from Ryan. This isn't over, Logan stated. Actually, for you, it is, Ryan calmly replied. Feel free to take Natalie down with you. She's just as complicit as you are. As Logan hurried out, Ryan remained composed, slowly gathering his personal items. The secure phone buzzed with an alert, signaling the automatic start of Phase 2 throughout the building. Years ago, Ryan had embedded a specialized code into Vertex systems, ensuring client data protection while unveiling the hidden truths of executive misconduct, cover-ups of harassment, and financial wrongdoing. These corporate sins were now exposed and distributed to the relevant parties. Natalie found Ryan half an hour later, her composed facade beginning to crack. What have you done? She questioned. He closed his office door and stated firmly, the board is discussing possible criminal charges against Logan. Ryan spoke calmly, suggesting it sounds like a company matter. Perhaps the VP of security should address it. Suspecting her involvement, he asked Natalie, they're saying Logan has been selling technology to foreign entities. They're saying I'm implicated, aren't you? As he neatly packed his belongings, Natalie lamented, it wasn't supposed to happen like this. No one was supposed to get hurt. Ryan chuckled, except me, right? I was meant to be professionally ruined and personally humiliated. That kind of pain was acceptable. Despite Natalie's plea to fix the situation, Ryan quipped, it's already being taken care of, just not in the way you intended. Interrupted by a call, he excused himself to answer, returning to inform Natalie, the board wants to see me. Apparently, they have questions. Natalie stepped forward, her eyes narrowing as the topic switched to network security protocols. What will you disclose to them? He asked simply. The truth has a way of emerging, no matter how deeply buried, she replied. As he departed, Natalie urgently called out to Logan, he knows everything. Let's quicken the contingency plan. Ryan grinned, as he had expected this reaction. The board meeting played out exactly as Ryan had foreseen. 12 somber executives sought a savior from the mounting crisis. Unconcerned with personal matters of betrayal or relationships, they prioritized the survival of Vertex technology and their own reputations. Mr. Salazar, Harvey Maxwell, the board chairman, initiated, you designed our security infrastructure. What is occurring within our systems? Ryan assured them, our security remains intact. The issue lies in the appropriate dissemination of internal data. Can you rectify this? Maxwell inquired. Indeed, I could. Ryan conceded, "But as of this morning, I am no longer employed here." Ready to address the situation, Maxwell swiftly announced, "The board has unanimously decided to remove Mr. Burke as CEO and reverse all recent personnel changes he implemented, including your wife's promotion and your termination." Ryan shook his head, expressing his disinterest in returning to Vertex. "Name your price," he challenged. Another board member interrupted, emphasizing it's not about money. Ryan retorted, "It's about consequences," as he stood and buttoned his jacket. "Gentlemen, while you work to save your company, I suggest you also prepare for the SEC investigators, who will arrive tomorrow morning to discuss Mr. Burke's foreign transactions. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have other matters to attend to." As Ryan exited the boardroom, he caught sight of Natalie and Logan engaged in a tense conversation at the end of the hallway. At the sight of him, Logan advanced aggressively, but Natalie restrained him, cautioning with a shake of her head. Ryan smiled politely and nodded as he passed him. By midday, he had cleared out his office and tendered his resignation from the company. As he made his way to his car, clutching his keycard for security access, the buzz of his secure phone alerted him to Logan's successful access of their contingency plan, just as Ryan had foreseen. This development marked the start of the real battle ahead. Chapter 6. Countermeasures. On Tuesday morning, Logan and Natalie swiftly regrouped to launch their counterattack, a move that didn't surprise Ryan in the least. The opening salvo hit at 8:00 a.m. with the freezing of his bank accounts. Natalie's divorce attorney, acting with urgency, had secured emergency financial orders alleging that Ryan was hiding assets and planning an escape abroad. Unbeknownst to them, these were the very accounts Ryan had purposefully left exposed, containing just enough funds to make the ploy convincing. The next blow landed at 10:00 a.m. when local media outlets received anonymous tips hinting at Ryan's supposed tampering with client security systems during his tenure at Vertex. The accusations were carefully concocted to incite professional doubt and potential legal repercussions. Ryan received distressing calls from 3 major clients regarding their security systems, which put his professional reputation, identified by Logan as his most vital asset, in jeopardy. Ryan handled these calls from a discreet office he set up months ago under an anonymous company. With Dominic by his side, monitoring information on multiple screens, they discussed the situation. "They're playing hardball," noted Dominic as another call ended. "They're desperate," Ryan countered calmly, recognizing their predictability. Another call came in from Preston Walsh of Diamond City Realty, supposedly Natalie's employer. Ryan thought of the turbulent dealings with Vertex. "Natalie asked me to mediate. They want to drop everything in return for your silence on Logan's affairs," he shared with a fake smile. "Quite an offer from a company that doesn't employ my wife," Ryan quipped after a moment. "Diamond City Realty? You're Logan's former college roommate, not a real estate tycoon." BPHREs. Mogul, the company officially exists, but in reality, it serves as a front for money laundering and providing Natalie with an excuse. "Did I overlook something?" There was a long pause on the line. Preston's voice turned stern as he said, "You're making a mistake. They have the power to ruin you. They've attempted before." Ryan responded, "It's my turn now," before hanging up. Ryan signaled to Dominic, who then pressed a key on his laptop. In various parts of Denver, evidence linking Preston Walsh to Logan's schemes was being sent to specific law enforcement contacts. As the day progressed, it became evident that Logan and Natalie were using all means to discredit and isolate Ryan. 3 more clients terminated contracts with his private security firm. His professional association membership was under ethics review. Even his landlord received complaints about unauthorized changes to the office space. "They're thorough," observed Dominic as they monitored the intensifying attacks. "They're afraid," Ryan corrected. "Look at that screen." Ryan pointed to one of the monitors displaying financial transactions. "They're trying to access emergency funds from accounts they assume I can't trace. But each withdrawal activates a tracking protocol I set up years ago." "What should we do next, Dominic?" Ryan asked as he checked his watch. "In about 30 minutes, Logan will get a call from his offshore banker, notifying him that his accounts are frozen pending international financial inquiries. Natalie will also realize that her secret accounts have been flagged. Once their contingency plan fails, they'll resort to their emergency option. We'll have them then, just as we predicted, within the hour." Ryan's secure phone intercepted frantic messages between Logan and Natalie. Their financial safety nets were crumbling, investigations were progressing, and their allies were quickly backing away. "Lily, we have to activate the Nightshade protocol," said Logan. Natalie, are you absolutely certain? Once we initiate this, there's no turning back, Logan added. It's our last resort. He's tearing everything down, Natalie replied firmly. Meet me at the designated location in 30 minutes. Don't forget to bring the drives, Ryan said with a somber smile. The Nightshade Protocol, an appropriate name for their emergency plan, Dominic commented. What exactly does it entail? He inquired. It's our final option. A collection of incriminating evidence meticulously curated to not only take me down, but also anyone associated with me, Ryan explained. Financial records, doctored images, forged communications. They've been amassing it for months as a form of protection. How did you find out about it? Dominic asked. Because I allowed them to create it. I'd even played a part in leaking certain confidential information. Every piece of evidence they've gathered has been orchestrated by me, Ryan revealed. He stood up and grabbed his jacket. They'll be convening at Logan's Lake House in Clear Creek County. It's time for the culmination, Ryan announced. As they prepared to depart, Dominic posed the question that had been on his mind. What's our next move? Ryan was troubled by the ad, but the board had offered him everything. Why not just take it and be done with it? As he paused at the door, he realized that this was never merely about getting his job back. It was about seeking justice and ensuring that what had happened to him would never happen to anyone else. The mountain roads were slick from the early evening rain as they drove toward the secluded property. Although Ryan's expression remained impassive, his knuckles turned white on the steering wheel as they neared their destination. You should be prepared, he said quietly. What comes next might change your perception of me. Dominic studied his friend's profile in the dim light. We've been friends for 20 years. Nothing can change that, he reassured Ryan. With a single nod, Ryan turned onto the private road leading to Logan Burke's secret retreat, signaling the beginning of the final confrontation that would determine who would ultimately be held accountable for Monday's events. In Chapter 7, Glass Houses, the lake house emerged from the mist like a modernist sculpture, featuring glassed and angular steel perched on a cliff overlooking the water. Ryan parked the car, ready to face what lay ahead. Some distance away in the secluded spot he had scouted earlier, away from the security cameras of the house, he spotted the arrival of two vehicles. Logan's Tesla and a rental car that Natalie had acquired that morning. Dominic checked the time he instructed. What's the plan? Ryan suggested, as he retrieved specialized equipment from a secret compartment in his trunk. In a matter of minutes, he successfully tapped into the house's internal systems, utilizing the backdoor he had set up years ago when Logan had requested his expertise in designing the home security. Through discreet earpieces, they began to eavesdrop on the ongoing conversation inside. Everything is unraveling. Natalie's strained voice could be heard. The board is cooperating with the authorities. The offshore accounts have been frozen, and Preston was taken into custody this afternoon. This was supposed to be smooth. Logan snapped. You wish surely he would just walk away. He never put up a fight in our 9 years of marriage. Natalie shot back in defense. He's in the fight now, Logan growled. Did you secure the drives? Yes, everything is here. All the collected evidence and the fabricated materials. Releasing this will not only incriminate Ryan, but also tarnish the reputation of everyone connected to him, including his family, friends, and colleagues. Ryan's expression remained impassive as he listened to the conversation about sacrificing innocent lives to save themselves. Let's kick things off with Dominic Russo, Logan suggested. As Ryan's closest ally, exposing his involvement in financial fraud will sever Ryan's most crucial support. Bastards, Dominic muttered. Ryan raised a hand to silence them as they continued discussing their plan. What about the alternative? Natalie asked tentatively. Are you referring to disappearing? Logan pondered. The new identities are set and we have access to untraceable funds. We could be in Argentina by tomorrow night. What about Ryan? Logan's tone hardened. What about him? We release everything remotely tonight. By the time he figures out what's going on, his life will be in chaos and we will be out of the picture. Natalie spoke so quietly that her words were almost missed. I never wanted it to come to this. Logan retorted coldly, it's too late for regrets. It's either us or him now. Having heard enough, Ryan took action. He activated another device that connected to the house's security system, bypassing the protocols using codes only he knew. In a matter of seconds, he had gained full control. Are you ready? Ryan asked Dominic. His friend nodded solemnly. With a few commands, Ryan initiated a complete security shutdown within the house. Alarms blared as emergency procedures kicked in. The steel shutters, meant to protect the glass walls in case of intrusion, dropped down and sealed all exits. What's happening? Lovin's voice sounded panicked through the earpieces. The system has gone into lockdown. Override it, Natalie commanded. I can't. Someone is controlling it remotely. Ryan and Dominic made their way towards the house calmly, reaching the front entrance just as the security system announced intruder protocol activated remotely. Primary administrator granted access. As they approached the door, it automatically unlocked. Ryan pushed it open to discover Logan and Natalie looking surprised amidst flashing security lights and blaring alarms. Good evening, Ryan greeted them amiably, using his phone to silence the alarms. I hope I'm not interrupting. Logan started to ask, but Ryan interjected. Find you, track you, access your security system. I built it, remember? He finished reminding them, just like I constructed the security architecture you were planning to sell to foreign buyers. Natalie stepped forward, her voice adopting the calm tone she often used with him during their marriage to manipulate him. This has gone too far. We can all end this peacefully, she suggested. That's what I proposed last Friday. Ryan responded composedly. But both of you were so sure I wouldn't fight back. A costly mistake. Logan made his way to a desk where multiple hard drives were scattered. What are your demands? He inquired. Justice, Ryan stated simply, pointing at the drives. As they moved closer to collect the documents, Logan suddenly retrieved a gun from the desk drawer. Nobody move, he ordered, his voice trembling slightly. I won't go to prison because of you, Ryan. Natalie gasped. Logan, please put that away. Shut up, Logan snapped, pointing the gun at Ryan. This is on you. He's just going to walk away. You said he's not a threat. Ryan stayed calm and motionless, observing Logan with a calculating gaze. An interesting choice. Using a weapon will only worsen your situation, adding years to your sentence. Defiantly, Logan replied, there won't be a sentence. Here's the deal. You restore our access to the offshore accounts, clear our names with the authorities, and then disappear. Otherwise, he gestured menacingly with the gun towards Dominic. I'll start by shooting your friend and you. Self-defense during the home invasion. The security logs will support my story. Ryan, unfazed, interjected, the security logs that I control. I highly doubt that. A flicker of uncertainty crossed Logan's face for the first time. Still don't grasp the situation, do you? Ryan added calmly, with precision and forethought, every system you depend on has been carefully engineered by me, from security to finances to evidence. You have no moves remaining. Stay back, Logan yelled, his wavering gun pointed towards Ryan. The authorities have it all already, Ryan calmly stated, taking a step forward. Your illicit foreign dealings, embezzlement, and fraud will be exposed. Even if you dispose of us, it won't save you. Natalie interjected desperately, Logan. Don't believe him. He's bluffing. Ryan's cold smile chilled the air. Are you sure about that, Logan? Check your phone. Logan's eyes darted to his phone on the desk, where the notification light was flashing rapidly. In that split second of distraction, Ryan closed the gap between them, swiftly disarming Logan with a move honed through years of personal security training that Logan had belittled. The gun clattered to the floor as Dominic retrieved it. Logan stumbled back, clutching his wrist in defeat. You destroyed everything, he lamented. No, Ryan corrected firmly. Ed did that himself. I'm just making sure you face the consequences. Outside, the sound of approaching vehicles broke the tension. Dominic checked the security camera feed on his phone and confirmed it was the FBI arriving right on schedule. Natalie collapsed into a chair, losing all pretense of control. Ryan, please. I made a mistake, she pleaded. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary, Ryan retorted, his voice finally revealing his emotions. What you did was a calculated betrayal that spanned months. There's a difference. As federal agents surrounded the house, Ryan deactivated the security lockdown with a final command. The steel shutters retracted, revealing the flashing lights of law enforcement vehicles outside the glass walls. Glass houses, Ryan remarked to Logan as the agents entered. Ironic, isn't it? You always did prefer style over substance. As the agents began reading them their rights, Natalie made one last desperate appeal. Ryan, we can still fix this. For what we once had, she implored. What we had died long before Friday's party, Ryan interrupted. The difference now is that I know it. As the agents took Logan and Natalie into custody outside in the cool night air, he turned to leave. Dominic joined him by the cliff's edge, overlooking the dark water below. Is it enough? Dominic asked quietly. Taking a deep breath, Ryan felt the weight lifting for the first time in weeks. It's a start. Chapter 8, Scorched Earth. 3 weeks after the arrests, Ryan sat in his attorney's office, reviewing the final divorce settlement. Natalie's legal downfall had been swift and complete, her assets frozen, her reputation destroyed, her freedom in the hands of federal prosecutors. In exchange for testifying against Loudon, she might evade the maximum sentence. But her life as she knew it was no more. She's agreed to everything, Martin Weber, his attorney, explained. Full confession to her involvement in the conspiracy, complete relinquishment of all marital assets, and no contest to the divorce on grounds of infidelity and criminal activity. In response to a question about emotion and Loudon facing numerous federal and state charges, Martin revealed that his cooperation offer was turned down, leading to Loudon being sentenced to a long prison term. Although the company, Vertex Technologies, managed to stabilize under the board's control, their stock value dropped, and some board members are facing legal troubles related to Loudon's actions. Martin mentioned that the board had tried to bring Ryan back 3 times, but Ryan showed no interest. The following day, Ryan and Dominic met at their new offices in Denver, a refurbished warehouse in an industrial area. The space was busy with technicians setting up modern security and communication systems. Reading the new sign, Phoenix Security Solutions, Dominic suggested that the name signified a rising from the ashes. Ryan agreed, pleased with the setup. He received a message on his secure phone from an unfamiliar number questioning whether Natalie thought it was justifiable to ruin so many lives for vengeance. Temporary communication privileges? Ryan considered the question seriously before responding. It wasn't revenge, it was justice. Her reply came quickly. It's a difference. Yes, revenge is personal. Justice is universal. After sending the message, Ryan blocked the number permanently. Later that day, he received an unexpected visitor. Harvey Maxwell, the former board chairman of Vertex Technologies. Impressive operation, Maxwell commented, looking around the facility. What do you want, Harvey? Ryan asked directly. To apologize for one thing, Maxwell replied, and to make you an offer. Not interested in either, Ryan stated. Maxwell nodded, as if expecting this response. Before you dismiss me completely, you should know the full scope of what happened. Loudon wasn't just selling technology, he was selling access to critical infrastructure that your systems protected. The national security implications are significant. This caught Ryan's attention. Go on. Certain government agencies are concerned about vulnerabilities that may still. Do they want someone who understands the systems to help secure them? Someone they can trust? Ryan asked skeptically. I volunteered, Maxwell acknowledged, partly out of guilt, partly because I still believe in what Vertex was supposed to be. Ryan pondered this information thoughtfully before asking, what exactly are they proposing? Maxwell explained, a private contract extremely well funded, with complete autonomy. Phoenix Security would become the premier cybersecurity contractor for some very important people. Why will I help the organization that betrayed me? Ryan questioned. Not for Vertex, Maxwell clarified. The company will likely be dissolved after the investigations conclude. This would be directly with the agencies concerned. Ryan's expression remained stoic, but internally, he was already calculating the strategic advantages of such an arrangement. Not for redemption or forgiveness, but for the power and influence that would protect him from future threats. After a moment of contemplation, Ryan finally responded, I'll consider it. Get in touch with me directly. After Maxwell's departure, Dominic approached with a puzzled expression. Are we not pursuing government contracts? He inquired. We're bolstering our position. Ryan clarified. The most effective defense is a strong offense. That night, while Ryan was diligently finalizing plans for Phoenix Security's inaugural major project, he was visited by another unexpected guest. Frank, the security guard from Vertex, who had always shown him respect. I hope I'm not disturbing you, Frank awkwardly stated as he stood in the doorway. Not at all, Ryan replied, genuinely pleased to see him. What brings you here? Vertex is completing layoffs tomorrow, Frank disclosed. After all that transpired, I recall what you mentioned that Monday morning about the battle not being definitive. Ryan recalled with a smile. Interested in a position, Frank? The older gentleman nodded. If you're hiring, we are, Ryan confirmed, and we value loyalty above all. As Frank departed with employment forms, Ryan returned to his desk where a newspaper lay open to a business article. The collapse of Vertex Technologies in an ESS article sent shockwaves through the industry. Alongside the news sat an invitation for Ryan, the founder of Phoenix Security, to speak at a major security conference. as he received a text from Martin Weber confirming the finalization of his divorce. Ryan took a deep breath, closing one chapter and embracing a new beginning. He wasn't seeking redemption but reconstruction, aiming to forge something stronger from the remnants of betrayal. Looking out the window of his office, the sparkling Denver skyline reflected a sense of determination within Ryan. Despite Natalie and Logan being held in a federal detention center, Ryan felt no pleasure in their plight, only a firm belief that justice had prevailed through his own actions. The world had attempted to shatter him, but it had ultimately failed. To respect him, the final piece of Monday's reckoning was complete. Chapter 9, Phoenix Rising. 6 months later, Phoenix Security Solutions had become the most sought-after cybersecurity firm in the country, operating from expanded headquarters with a staff of 85 specialists, many recruited from Vertex's collapsed security division. Ryan had built something more powerful than his previous position could ever have offered. The morning news played quietly in the background as Ryan reviewed contract proposals in his office. A reporter's voice caught his attention. Former Vertex Technology CEO Logan Burke was sentenced yesterday to 27 years in federal prison for multiple counts of fraud, conspiracy, and attempted sale of sensitive technology to foreign entities. Ryan muted the broadcast. Logan's fate was no longer his concern. A knock at his door interrupted his thoughts. Dominic entered, followed by a striking woman with shrewd eyes and a no-nonsense demeanor. "Ryan, this is Sofia Vega, the government liaison." Dominic presented Ryan, who rose to greet her with a handshake. "Mega Mr. Salazar," she acknowledged, gripping his hand firmly. "Reputation precedes you. Does it?" Ryan asked casually. "Is it good or bad?" "Impressive," she replied honestly. "Though some might call it ruthless, I prefer to see it as thorough," Ryan countered with a slight smile. After Dominic departed to have a discussion with him, Sofia got straight to the point. "The agency I represent has been closely monitoring your work, especially the security protocols you've established for critical infrastructure. They have proven to be highly effective." "That's what we do," Ryan replied simply. "What intrigues us more," Sofia continued, "is the meticulous way in which you dismantled your previous company while safeguarding its essential security frameworks, a precise operation rather than just destroying everything." Studying her intently, Ryan asked, "You're not just here for contracts, are you?" "Perceptive," she acknowledged. "We are facing a situation that requires your unique approach. Private contractor has compromised SEAV. Federal government systems have failed to neutralize the threat," Sofia clarified. "And you want Phoenix to handle it?" she asked. "With your team's support, of course." Ryan leaned back, considering the implications. "This will be completely off the books, I assume." "Necessarily so," she confirmed. "The political complications are significant." "Why me?" Ryan inquired. Sofia's expression remained professional, but her eyes held a knowing look. "Because you understand that some problems can't be solved within the system. Sometimes the system itself is the problem." The irony wasn't lost on Ryan. 6 months ago, he had been the victim of systematic betrayal. Now he was being recruited as the solution to a similar threat because of how thoroughly he had destroyed those who had wronged him. "I'll need complete autonomy and access," he stated, making his decision. "Already approved at the highest levels," Sofia assured him, sliding a secure tablet across the desk with details. As Ryan reviewed the information, he felt the familiar. Deception unraveled. Crystal clear now, he felt the same unwavering determination that had carried him through the difficult events of Monday. Later that day, Ryan met with Nathaniel Wright, Natalie's father, at a quaint cafe in downtown Denver for a rare personal encounter. "Thank you for agreeing to meet with me," the older man spoke, his once authoritative presence now diminished by recent circumstances. "You mentioned it was important," Ryan responded in a neutral tone. Nathaniel nodded, his fingers absently tracing the edge of his untouched coffee cup. "I wanted to express my regrets for my daughter's actions, for failing to raise her better," he said. Ryan observed his former father-in-law with detached curiosity. In the aftermath, the man had lost everything. His business ties cut, his reputation tarnished by association. "Natalie made her own decisions," Ryan eventually remarked. "She sent me a letter from prison," Nathaniel continued, "asking me to deliver a message to you." "I'm not interested," Ryan replied. "She mentioned," Mike said that, the older man sighed. "The message was concise. I understand the distinction now." Session remained stoic, but internally he acknowledged the importance of the moment. The concept of justice versus revenge had finally resonated with her. "Is there anything I can do to make amends?" Nathaniel inquired softly. Ryan observed the shattered individual in front of him, a victim of decisions he had not been a part of. Live with the consequences, he responded, not without empathy. That's something we all must do. As they bid farewell, Nathaniel hesitantly extended his hand. After a moment of contemplation, Ryan accepted it, not as a sign of forgiveness, but as a closure to a chapter. Later that night, Ryan stood on the rooftop of his new penthouse, gazing at the illuminated city of Denver beneath him. The twinkling lights below resembled opportunities awaiting to be seized. His phone buzzed with a message from Safia, contract approved. We start tomorrow. While another person might have felt satisfaction or triumph, Ryan felt a calm sense of purpose. The betrayal that had once threatened to break him had instead molded him into something stronger. It wasn't just about creating a new company or holding a new position, but about embracing a fresh perspective. Unyielding, uncompromising, and clear about the line between justice and mercy, he received a call on his secure phone. It was Dominic from the office. Everything set for tomorrow? Ryan inquired. All systems ready, Dominic confirmed. This contract will elevate Phoenix to a new level. Good, Ryan replied, observing a storm brewing in the distance, lightning casting a glow on the mountain outlines. Remind everyone, no mistakes, no hesitation, no compromises, just like Monday. Dominic asked, referring to their code for flawless execution. Exactly like Monday, but this time we're proactive, not reacting to betrayal, Ryan clarified. Ending the call, Ryan pondered the path from the Friday party 6 months prior to this moment. The attempt at humiliation and betrayal had aimed to dismantle him, leaving him powerless and disgraced. However, instead, it had revealed his unwavering core strength, a truth his adversaries had fatally misjudged. Underrated are the men who emerge stronger from betrayal, finding completion rather than destruction in the face of adversity. As new challenges, adversaries, and battles awaited on the horizon, the unwavering lesson of Monday's reckoning remained resolute. True power lay not in mere positions, titles, or wealth, but in diligent preparation, exacting precision, and an unyielding refusal to forgive those who have betrayed trust. Ryan Salazar, turning away from the impending tempest, stepped inside, poised to face whatever the dawn would unveil. In this perpetual cycle of Mondays, he claimed dominion over the day. Thus, another chapter concludes. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this tale, consider becoming part of our community by subscribing. Your support means everything to us. For more captivating stories like this, explore the suggested videos on screen. Until next time, take care.